Oh boy.
Larry. Wow, it's been a while since I had this much fun and excitement. A face-off against Mr. Edgeworth. A harrowing-type rope walk for the defense.
I'm exhausted already. We know this is you.
I actually forget who this is, but it's probably Athena?
Athena, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Boss? Yep. I'm here for moral support. So she got away.
Athena,
I think we're doing Mood Matrix.
are you done? I was gonna say, like, we have to do Mood Matrix in this trial for sure. Like, mainly on our lovely husband guy.
Larry. I think we Mood Matrix Larry.
I think we'll Mood Matrix with Larry in this part, and then in the final part, we're gonna Mood Matrix the husband, because he's clearly got a lot of emotional trauma going on.
Yep.
Athena, are you done practicing for Trucy's magic show?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I sort of ran away. But that's because she was putting my life in danger, I tell you.
I see. I think I'll need to have a one-on-one with her. You're really athletic and fit, Athena. So Trucy probably thinks you can run it. She can run you ragged.
That may be true. Which is why not even Trucy can keep up with me when I run at full speed. Huh. Looks like you spoke too soon, Athena. Never underestimate the resourcefulness of a great magician. Huh? She's gonna come back super exhausted. Magical girl Trucy Wright is on the scene.
This storyline is so annoyingly pointless. Why do we need this?
No! Now, Athena, it's time to practice human combustion magic. Go on, douse yourself in this gasoline. But don't worry, it's a magic trick after all, so it's perfectly safe. Run away!
Wing!
Nope. Hey, you're not getting off that easily. They get along so well, don't they? It reminds me of the good old days. You, me, and Pearlie. Oh, and Detective Gumshoe. Can't forget him. We had all kinds of fun at crime scenes back then, remember?
I wonder where Gumshoe is at this point in the storyline.
Never mentioned him.
Leaving me to do all this serious investigating, as I recall. Go back in session soon, Mr. Wright. Right, thank you.
So Larry's the next witness, right? I can't wait to see what happens.
Sadly, I can already imagine it.
So maybe none here and more on the third inning, so to speak. Court will now reconvene.
Nick, Edgy, two of you are gonna hang me out to dry, aren't you? No, not both of us. Just Mr. Wright. Nick, how could you? I don't really think he did it, of course. But I gotta use whatever leads I can. Mr. Butts, there's a possibility you moved the lantern that had a dead body in it. So if you want to clear yourself of any suspicion, all you have to do is testify.
Now then, your testimony, please, witness. Nick is a jerk face.
Nick, you big fat stinking jerk. How can you tell your best bud? We've known each other since elementary school. Well, get this, pal. Our friendship's over.
Go on. Oh, Lord. That is the single best piece of testimony I've ever seen in this game series. We're pressing of obviously, but I mean. Wouldn't that be contempt?
I don't think it really would qualify for contempt.
Just spitting on a lawyer. Even after. Well, go ahead, Mr. Wright. It's all yours.
Why me? You're the one who called him to the stand, so he's your responsibility. Thanks, old chum. Can't any of you show me a little respect? Even just a shred?
You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Wright.
I would, if there were any testimony to cross-examine. Dick is a jerk face.
Hold it!
Come on, Larry, can you please give me something real to work with? Don't think I don't know about your tricks. If I say something careless, you're gonna shove some evidence at me with a loud objection and a super smug look on your face. Yeah, well, that is my job. And if I get found guilty, how are you gonna take responsibility for what you've done? Why should I take responsibility for just doing my job? You heartless jerk. Don't you have any compassion for me?
Hold it!
Sorry, Mr. Butts, but if it wasn't Miss Wyatt that entered the whole old with that card, you're the most likely suspect. Nick, are you seriously doubting your innocence of your old childhood school friend? Well, technically, yes. But it isn't personal, I assure you. True friend would believe in me no matter what. Do you see my tears? Don't they mean anything to you? Nick. You don't really think you can cry your way out of this, do you? Okay, fine. In that case...
Hold it!
Larry, listen to me. Shut up! I'm not talking to you anymore. This is getting us nowhere. Come off it, Larry. If you don't quit fooling around and start testifying, Miss White will be found guilty. For real?
If no new information comes out of this cross-examination, then yes, Mr. Butts, for real.
Not that I would have a problem with that myself. Larry, just tell us the truth already. Did you or didn't you go into the hold and move a lantern up to the reception hall? I never moved any bull lantern, I tell ya. Bull lantern? What? Did I say something weird?
So you moved the cow one.
You told me you didn't attend a wedding reception. Yeah, so what?
He knows something he doesn't know.
Then that's odd. No one ever in this courtroom ever mentioned the sex of the lantern that was moved. How could you know that it was a bull lantern? You didn't have to actually go to the reception hall to know that. Anyone could tell you there were two pegables by looking into Flying Chapel's pamphlet.
And it's usually the butts.
All I can tell right now is that there's a strong scent of bull in the air, and it's probably coming from the butts. Please add that last statement to your testimony, Mr. Butts. Well.
Wow, there's a pega cow.
Objection!
I want you to take a look at this, Mr. Butts. Because unfortunately for you, the pamphlet clearly shows a pega cow and a pega bull in their example diagram of the reception hall. Huh? But on that day, instead of putting a pega cow and a pega bull out for the bride and groom, there are two male pega bulls on display. Yet somehow, you knew there were two pega bulls in the reception hall that day. There's only one way you'd know something like that, Larry. It was you who moved the pega bull into the reception hall, wasn't it? No, Larry, you didn't.
Mr. Butts, did you move the lantern containing the victim's body to the reception hall?
That's what it looks like.
What?
Wait, Nick! You don't think I'm the murderer, do you?
Maybe you and Mr. Gloomsbury were fighting over Miss Wyatt and you ended up killing him. Thanks, Maya.
Maya! Not you too! Look, I did sneak into the reception, but that's how far as I went. You know me, I wouldn't hurt a fly. You snuck into the reception. Yeah, sure, but some of the Sprocket men caught and locked me up in one of the cabins. Pretty awful, actually. That's why I made the drawing of the pterodactyl I showed you, Nick. Ixnay Arnadactyl Pate, Larry. Mr. Wright, not even you would take this force that far, would you? We are talking about Larry. What do I do? Do we accuse Larry of being a true culprit? Nah. No, you're right, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Butts did not have a reason to kill Mr. Gloomsbury. He might have had an imaginary reason to kill Soren Sprocket, sure. But not Mr. Gloomsbury.
After all, he did steal Mr. Sprocket's bride and try to elope with her.
Just because I try to steal someone's bride doesn't make me a murderer.
Well, that makes him something, all right.
I do believe you, Larry. And I don't think you killed anybody either. You never do anything like that. Nick, old buddy, old pal. I knew you'd come through for me. Funny that, considering your sworn testimony just now that we were through.
Mr. Butts, it's time you told the court the whole truth, understood?
Just like Nick said, I'm the one who moved the lantern. Poking around a reception hall before the main event and saw the lantern was broken. There was a note that's on it that said, exchange the one with the one in hold. Ellen. So I decided to do Ellie a favor. Oh.
So you switched the lantern before the reception, did you? Then that means the victim really was killed before the reception. Larry wheeled it from hall to reception before the reception hall began.
It would appear that Mr. Butts completely fell for the defense's scheme. Scheme? What scheme? This note from the defendant exchanged the one with the one in the hold. Mr. Butts moved the lantern with the body in it up to the reception hall because of this note, and thus has become a suspect in Mr. Gloomsbury's murder. The second lantern did feel pretty heavy. I never should have thought there was a body in it. What was a note like that doing on a lantern in the first place?
You've got it all wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. I left that note for myself. It was simply a reminder because I can be very forgetful.
Objection!
With a sorry excuse, Miss Wyatt. The prosecution contends that this note shows one facet of the defendant's murder's plan. And you, Mr. Butts, played right into Miss Wyatt's hands. No way, Edgy, I don't believe it.
Objection!
Do you still believe Miss Wyatt to be the culprit, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course. My stance on the matter remains unchanged. If you think I'm wrong, then prove it with your cross-examination. Gladly.
Do we get that note added to evidence?
Nope.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
We're probably going to press butts for it.
Hold it!
The note wasn't addressed to you, was it? Well, I guess not, but how could I let my dear sweet Ellie do all the hard physical labor on her own? Precisely that thought process that constantly gets you in trouble, Larry. Besides, it was my big chance to show her how much I cared about her.
Hold it!
Nobody saw you the whole time while you were switching the lanterns. Nope, I didn't get caught. Not that time, anyway. Not that time? Yeah. I tried to sneak into the reception hall for the first time. I didn't have much luck. Sprocket guy spotted me and nabbed me. All of my words are failing me right now. Pretty exciting, don't you think? Larry, you need help. And they locked me up in one of the cabins. Nick, what are you asking about stuff like this for anyway? Shouldn't we try to prove Ellie's innocence?
Yes.
Mr. Butt's trying to crash the reception and subsequently getting locked up in a cabin. I believe that these might be important facts to the case, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Butts. Please add that statement to your testimony.
Hold it!
So you got locked up. Then what happened? I broke out. I started looking for Ellie and wandered into the reception hall again. That's when I saw the broken lantern and replaced it. Even after they caught you and locked you up, you still went looking for Miss White. But hold on a minute.
What is it, Nick?
Maya, doesn't something seem weird to you? Larry is saying he replaced the lantern after he broke out of the cabin.
That's right. Oh, wait. Huh? There's a second broken... You're right. It doesn't make much sense, does it? Mr. Wright, have you found any inconsistency with the witness's statement?
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. Does he talk about this?
No,
Oh.
that drawing is still solid.
Or is it this?
It would be that one, because guess what? If he... Actually, there's another thing that might conflict with it, is he went to the hold, right? So wouldn't there be another entry on the hold list?
Oh, well, no, he would only have to go into hold once to replace it.
No, but he got locked up, and then the hold would have locked, and then he'd have to get back in.
No, he was saying he went into the reception hall, got caught, was put in a cabin. He got out of the cabin, went to the reception hall, saw the note, grabbed the thing, took it down, went to the hold, replaced it, and put the other one back. He only went to the hold once for what he's saying.
But he'd still have to move another bowl back in.
Yeah,
It seems weird.
After he left the hold, he went back up and put it there.
Okay, the thing is, it's the total number of cows here. Kega moves or whatnot. Right? There's no longer just two. One of them's already broken, so where's our broken one? 3 cows existing, 1 at reception. The one seen there is definitely the male bull cow. So I think the body's up right there.
I definitely think at this point the body has to be in there.
Yeah. And it didn't mess with that at all?
We have to prove that. What's contradicting that Larry moved it after getting out of the cabin?
And it doesn't contradict the 3 names on that list?
If Larry had her card, it wouldn't contradict it. You just present the broken bowl then?
Sure.
Take that!
There it is.
Is that?
Yes. It's the broken lantern, Your Honor. Mr. Butts, what you're saying doesn't make any sense at all. What? Why not? You swapped the lanterns before the reception began, right? Yeah, that's what it said, isn't it? But you also just said you swapped the lanterns. After you got locked up in a cabin for trying to sneak into the reception. In other words, you're saying that you swapped the lanterns both before the reception
And after.
and after the reception took place.
That certainly doesn't make any sense, right? Does it? Because he would have brought the body down. Mr. Butts, did you swap the lanterns before or after the reception?
Which was it? Before or after? There's a world of difference between these two. Well, Mr. Butts? I guess I can't expect you guys to understand. In a nutshell, it was both the before and after the reception.
2 receptions.
What? I tried to sneak into the first reception and got locked up. The first reception? The first reception? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Then through the power of Ellie's pendant, time got rewound and went back to the time before the reception. It was after that when I replaced the lantern. It was both before the reception and after the reception. Get it? We went back in time to before the reception. So of course the reception would take place one more time after that, right? That's why I said I'd make perfect sense. Mr. Wright, what in the world is the witness talking about? Has he developed some sort of intellectual ailment and I'm not aware of since I last saw him? Well... None of the Sprockets seem to remember the time skip, but I do. And Ellie remembers it too. I think the power of our love for each other made it miracle happen.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but could you please translate this man's gibberish so the rest of us can understand?
So now I have to be the one to explain about the whole time travel thing? Go on, Nick. I know you can do it.
Looks like you don't have much choice, Nick.
Taco said, can't lose any more of my dignity today anyway. Well, here it goes. Defendant, Miss Ellen Wyatt told the defense the following strange story. She said after her reception ended, she was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury. She claims that she was being assaulted. She made a wish upon her pendant. Please take me back to the blissful moment. In doing so, time apparently rounded itself to just before the reception began. It what? I know it's hard to believe, but think about it this way. Through the power of the pendant, both Ellen Watt and Larry Butts experienced time travel.
What? I don't even want to act out that what.
What?
Objection!
What absolute rubbish. Mr. Wright, I've heard my fair share of your nonsense over the years. But this takes the cake. Have you thoroughly lost your mind?
Objection!
But this is simply the conclusion I came to. Using that logic ability you love so much. What? Truth of the matter is, the future president of Sprocket Aviation, Soren Sprocket, has been researching time machines. So what if a time machine has already been successfully created? Or if that's one of Sprocket Aviation's top secret inventions?
A time machine?
Yeah, I even saw something while we were time traveling. I saw a pterodactyl flying through the sky. Maybe the airship was set through the time of for the honeymoon trip.
What? A pterodactyl?
Objection!
You can't possibly have any evidence to back up your ridiculous time travel story. Well, as I thought. In any case, I now have the evidence to prove that you're no more intelligent than Larry. Not so fast, Edgy. I'm not the same old Larry you used to know. Oh. Oh no.
What is this?
You
What is
want
this
evidence?
photo?
I've got your evidence right here. This photo I secretly took of the first reception. What? What?
But
Larry, I can't believe you. Well, anyway, good job. We compare the photos of first and second receptions and can find a difference. But proves the reception was held twice.
But do you really think such a difference exists?
Yes, Your Honor. I just need some time to find it for you. This is preposterous.
Very well. Please show the court what's different then.
Oh! I see
What
it.
do you see?
I see it
The
immediately.
bouquet is one.
The bouquet. It's different color. It's a complete different color.
Can you zoom around the photo a bit and look at the man himself too?
Hold on. Yeah, it's 100% just wanting the bouquet.
Yeah.
Take that!
Please direct your attention toward Miss White's bouquet of flowers. In the photo one of her in-laws took, the defendant is holding a yellow bouquet. But in the photo Mr. Butts took, she's holding a red bouquet.
You're right.
That's impossible.
What does this mean?
It means the defendant really did experience 2 wedding receptions. She did that, but she traveled back through time.
What? Nick? You did it. You proved Ellen's time travel story to be true.
Yeah, can hardly believe it myself. It's just as Ellen said, the reception was held twice. This turns every assumption we've based this trial on upside down.
Objection!
Yeah.
How can he
Gotta stop
object
it.
now? I refuse to accept such a ludicrous argument. It is pure fiction under the guise of pseudoscience at best. There's simply no such thing as time travel. I know it's hard, but can you suspend your disbelief for 1 nanosecond, Edgeworth?
I bet sci-fi movies push all your buttons the wrong way, don't they, Mr. Edward? I could totally picture you yelling. That never happened every 5 seconds at the screen. Maybe you should stay away from movie dates altogether.
That's neither here nor there.
They're really harping on his date life.
This is real life we're talking about.
But the proof is clearly shown in the 2 photographs.
That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how you... Fine. I'll entertain your absurd delusion. If only to demolish it right before your very eyes. What? Let's start with this then, shall we? There is one thing your time travel theory fails to explain. Not just the memories of the other guests there. The defendant and Larry remember the reception occurring twice, but no member of the Sprocket family has even mentioned such a thing.
Objection!
It's because the temperature is classified technology. I'm not done, you bird brain. Bird brain? As I was saying, if the entire family had been sworn to secrecy, then why had they sworn the woman who was married into the family to secrecy too? She wasn't a part of the family yet, technically.
Mm-hmm.
She might not have even known that it was actually being done either. That's a good point. Honestly, all it takes is a little common sense, Mr. Wright. But how do you explain the photos?
Even still, how do we know that the trip through time did not really occur? There's proof in the photos that it did, and besides, if time travel doesn't exist, well, I'd be a little disappointed, frankly. I was hoping to go back to the days of my youth. He's not having it.
You mustn't allow yourself to be taken in by Mr. Wright's whimsical tales, Your Honor. I've read about it in various literature, you see. And they all say that time travel is not just logically not logically feasible.
Maybe our argument was just a little too nonsensical, Nick. Oh, Lord.
Well, in that case, why don't we put common sense to the test? Excuse me. The wedding reception was held twice. The photos are proof of that. But it wasn't because of time travel. It's simply because the reception had actually been held twice. Isn't that the most reasonable way to interpret the situation?
Would you care to elaborate, Mr. Wright?
Time travel doesn't exist, and there's only one way to make sense of what happened. Someone must have orchestrated this strange phenomenon, and that someone is everyone.
Everyone at the reception.
Literally everyone but Miss Wyatt and Larry.
Yeah.
What if all the guests at the receptions conspired together to hold a reception twice and keep quiet about it? What? And for what purpose did they conspire to do such a thing?
Because they all hate.
Well, a brilliant deduction defense. Oh.
I can tell you are not a renowned lawyer for nothing. I must say I underestimated you.
How so, Mr. Nakoti?
You have managed to name each event precisely as they happened. You have revealed it all to the light of day.
So he's just straight up admitting it.
Yep.
That's weird. Then that means
It was us. We orchestrated the whole thing. Yes, the reception was held twice. But not because of time travel, no. We simply held it a second time.
what? Why? Why would you do such a thing?
We make it as though the murder Miss Ellen committed never happened. Master Soren figured if Miss Ellen had killed Bloomsbury after the first reception, experienced the reception one more time, she would think it was all a dream. It was he who ordered us to make it happen. However, only a few, myself included, knew of Miss Ellen's crime.
Seems weird.
No, he definitely did it. So he's the one who hit him as he was holding her over. However, only a few, myself included, knew of Miss Ellen's crime. Are you saying most of the guests attended two receptions without knowing why? Indeed, they needed no reason. Master Soren told them to do it, and do it they did.
So this puts a lot of suspicion on Soren. That's not good.
That is the Sprocket way.
Then who hid the body in the lantern?
We did. But we did not anticipate the pedals finding their way in, nor the actions of Mr. Butts.
And that's how you intended to cover the whole situation up.
There is just one thing everyone here has wrong. The real scene of the murder was not the hold, it was the Vista deck.
Not surprising. What? Then Miss White's recollection of the events must be correct.
I admit we tried to cover the incident up. But the fact is that Miss Ellen killed Bloomsbury is undeniable. This is quite a turn of events.
Why did I have to question mark Edward's laugh? So, it appears we've arrived at the truth at last. Now. Please do feel free to travel back in time, Mr. Wright. And attempt to do this trial over again. Go on. Let's not get hasty, Edwards. I bet you can't do it. I bet I can't either. Your Honor, we will have to hold a separate trial for the cover-up conspiracy later. But as far as this case goes, I believe we are ready for your ruling. No, can't just rule based on testimony. We need evidence to back that up, so that means we have to go investigate. We need to go investigate that spot. We need to see what it looks like.
Objection!
Just before the defendant... Blah, I'm not him.
Oh, I didn't even read it. Just before the defendant lost consciousness during her attack, she says she saw someone strike the victim. It's possible that a third party is the true culprit.
Objection!
You still want us to believe that defendant's words? Perhaps you've lost more than your touch during the time abroad. This third-person nonsense is nothing but rubbish, and you know it.
Objection!
But, by the same token, how can we trust those who conspired and lied to fool this court of law? For all we know, they might still be hiding something. You never know when to quit, do you? Edgeworth, you can't deny that. They've already lied once. One lie begets another. Like, come on. Basic rule of law.
Now, calm down, both of you. In any case, there isn't enough trustworthy information yet for me to render a verdict. Judge being right for once, I suggest we continue the trial after both sides have investigated the matter further.
Very well, Your Honor. That was close.
Mr. Nicoti, as for you and your cohort's attempt to cover up this crime, your case will be brought up at a separate trial following the resolution of this current one. Understood, Your Honor. Well then, this concludes today's trial. Court is adjourned.